Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. You've got 30 minutes here. I guess it's a lunch and learn, and I'm really excited to have you here. Thank you, Genevieve, for inviting me to speak to your tribe. She's really interested in seeing you all thrive. So congratulations, Genevieve, for organizing this. I super appreciate it. So you may be wondering, who I am and what am I doing here? Well, today we're going to be talking about hormonal weight gain, what causes it and how to use it. So my name is Michelle Hart, and I am I'll show you here, go to the next slide. So I'm your educator today for 30 minutes, and I am founder of the Fit and Healthy Nutritional Consulting since 2001. So I've been doing this 22 years. And my expertise is in customized weight loss. And so I've actually created the Weight Loss Forever Blueprint, which I'll be diving into a little bit today. But anyways, I've helped over tens of thousands of women lose weight by actually focusing on reframing how they look at food and even wine, bread, chocolate, to enjoy a life of freedom and balance. So I've worked with legends such as Bob Proctor. I don't know if you see this or not, but I wrote a book with him, The Science of Perfect Weight. And I've written my own book as well. So I'm an author of a book. I've had a lot of mentors to help me with high performance and mental clarity and thinking. And so I've pulled all this together into some really important tips to help those that are looking to lose weight and keep it off for life. So I'm also a wife and an author and a mom of 2 adult boys, and I live in Mexico. So that's who I am. But today, let's get to the topic. So what are you going to learn today? Well, you're going to learn about the hormones that cause weight gain. You're also going to learn about the actual causes, the true causes of hormonal weight gain. And then at the end of it, you're going to actually learn how to balance your hormones so you can keep the weight off for good. So you are going to have practical tips at the end that you can start to see changes right away. And what got me into this space actually was I had my own journey. And I basically, if you look on the left here, this is me starving myself to lose weight, which was a failed approach because I followed the eat less, exercise more, and all the wrong things. And so, yeah, I was able to lose weight, but I was basically a skinny fat, which it wasn't really fun because I was like always hungry. And so I wanted to figure out, how am I going to turn this around? Because it led to a very severe aging disease, osteoporosis, at a very young age. So I had hormone imbalances. I had a bone disease at a young age because I was doing the wrong things. And so what happened was I wanted to figure out, how am I going to fix myself? And so I started to follow what I was told to do, which was the first thing was remove sugar and have artificial sweetener. Okay. Remove butter and have margarine. All right. And then go low fat. So I followed all that, but I actually got worse. So I was following the wrong information, which was what was normally out there in mainstream. So that wasn't working and I was freaking out. So after discovering what we're actually designed to eat and how we're designed to live, which is a natural lifestyle, I actually reversed my own condition all naturally, balanced my hormones, and now my bones are the strongest they've ever been. So I've had my own personal journey, and I just don't want you to struggle all those years that I did. I figured it out, and now you're going to hear about it today. Okay, so this is me on the right here, fit and healthy, over 55. So let's go to the next slide. Let's talk about the main hormones that cause weight gain. Well, those are, most people kind of really focus on the fat burning hormones. Yeah, we need to burn fat. So we're really going to make sure that our program is burning fat. So let's start looking at thyroid, or let's look at leptin or growth hormone. Well, that is a failed approach. We're not looking in the right direction. Yes, they are fat burning hormones, but really the fat storing hormones, these ones here with the red arrows going down, these are the ones you actually really want to focus on. Okay. Because they will override your fat burning hormones in an instant. So we need to get this fat storage hormones right so that you don't store fat and you start to burn fat. So this is where we're going to focus on today, these 3 hormones. Okay. And we're going to start with the number 1 hormone, which is our stress hormone. We're going to talk about cortisol today. This is the one hormone that I really want you to think about. to make sure that you're balancing cortisol, okay? And the reason for that, it's our stress hormone, but if it's out of balance, you will have a really hard time losing weight, no matter what diet you're on or lifestyle or anything. If you're stressed out of your face doing other things, you'll have a hard time losing weight. So this is something really, really important to look at, okay? And I'm gonna ask you this question here. Do you ever wonder, okay, so we talked about stress. Do you ever wonder why some women, when they're stressed, they don't gain weight? And there's other women that are stressed and they just can't lose weight. They're gaining more weight and they're wondering, I'm eating a right diet, why am I gaining weight? What's going on here? Well, here's what's going on. And we're going to spend a bit of time on this slide because this is going to really set the framework for the rest of the talk. Okay. So we all know we're under a lot of stress more than ever. Okay. And when we have an acute stress response, so there's like, right away, there's like a deadline, something happens straight away, maybe that you got some really bad news and you have this stress response and it's acute, it's immediate. And what happens physiologically in the body, when we look at hormones, physiologically in the body, as soon as you get this acute stress, cortisol goes up because that's your stress hormone. It's going to go up. It's doing that to give you, it's a fight or flight response. It's going to help you get the energy to fight the dragon, run away from the lion. It's like we're still built the same as we were hundreds of thousands of years ago. And so what it's going to do is it's going to raise your stress hormone really quickly, and it's going to raise your blood sugar right away. And it's going to do that to give you the instant energy you need to think clearly and also run away from the lion. So that's good. We need to have these. And at the same time, when cortisol goes up, insulin goes down at the very start. And the reason for that is the body goes, I need to keep insulin down because insulin's a storage hormone. We don't want to store. We need to run from the line. We need to keep the blood sugar up so we have this instant energy to save our lives. So in the beginning, you will burn fat like quickly. So with an acute response, stress response, you've got cortisol that's up, which is good, but then you've got insulin that's down. So that's good. But what happens is over time, if the stress keeps going and you haven't mitigated it, cortisol still stays up, but then insulin rises. And the reason why insulin rises because the body goes, oh, I have all this blood sugar in the bloodstream and it's going on too long. Boy, this is going to damage the blood vessels. I better take it out of the blood vessels and into the cells and store it so that it doesn't cause damage in the blood vessels. So then insulin rises. Anytime insulin goes up, you have stopped fat burning right there. So in the beginning, you're burning fat, but then in a short period of time, you start to gain weight. You start to gain fat quickly because you have insulin up, you have cortisol up. And then what happens is, okay, so now we've got a low blood sugar situation and now we're going to eat. So anytime you eat, you must raise insulin because insulin is a storage hormone. So it's going to store the nutrition or the nutrients into your cells. That's what it does. But it also stores fat. So always remember that if you're looking to, which we are, get into a fat burning state, we've got to keep insulin down. Okay. And so this is where the problem is insulin's up, cortisol's up, and all this kind of thing. So that explains why at the beginning, you start to scrape away the fat, but then after a while, it's like, why aren't I losing weight? It's because of chronic cortisol. Okay. It's the chronic cortisol. So how do you know if you have like this high cortisol response? And how do you know if it's chronic? Well, here's how to know. These are like these are quick little symptoms that you can look at for yourself. If you have increased irritability, okay, if your irritability is just like not going away, if you have high blood pressure, if you have a heart muscle weakness, so you have a hard time building any muscle, okay, and I'm just going to do a little caveat here. Anytime your cortisol is raised for too long, you will tear away your muscle tissue. So this is something we're going to actually need to talk about because muscle is your metabolic engine. You don't want to do that. Okay. So that's the problem with cortisol. And then also extreme fatigue. Why am I tired all the time? Why do I have to have coffee? Why do I need sugar? And then depressed, like, why do I feel low mood? What's going on? Like, I love my husband, I love my kids, I love my work. Why am I depressed? It's because of the high cortisol. Why am I anxious all the time? Again, high cortisol. And then why can't I lose weight? This is what this topic is because of high cortisol. So remember, cortisol is one of the main hormones that we need to get right for you to lose weight and then keep it off for life. Okay. A few other things about cortisol, because we still have about 18 minutes here. It's going to turn on disease-causing genes. So here's the thing. A lot of people think it's the genes that it's causing, you know, this obesity. I have the obesity gene, right? It runs in my family. Well, that's actually not true. 1% of the overweight or the weight gain is responsible for your genes. 1%. 99% is really above the genes. It's epigenetics. It's what signaling are you giving the genes? What environment are the genes in? Because you can turn on genes to give you health, and you can turn off disease-causing genes. It's all about what the genes are swimming in. Okay, this is about diet and lifestyle and how you live your life, but really you can turn all this around. It's not to do so much with your genes. Okay, typically. So with high cortisol, we talked about weight gain. We talked about, we're going to get into the next hormone, which is insulin. So they do have a relationship together. Cortisol.
Sorry, what? Okay. Oh, I'm in a Zoom meeting, just FYI, till 1. So if you have anything, just give it to Deanna. I know you messaged me, but I haven't read it. Hello?
Genevieve, if you can mute.
And can you just mute you?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So we have high cortisol situation. This actually leads to the thyroid issue. So it actually starts with, you know, there's more to the thyroid than just the thyroid. There's other factors that are involved, and a lot of it has to do with cortisol, your adrenals with the thyroid. Irritable bowel syndrome. I have, you know, irritable bowel. I have Crohn's. I have colitis. I have SIBO. All these things are all connected. The gut microbiome, all this is connected to stress, high cortisol. It actually also lowers natural killer cells. This is important, especially when you're in a situation where people are sick around you, and you want to keep your immune system high. Well, you got to really mitigate your stress, because if not, anytime you're under stress for too long, your immune system is down regulated, and that's why you get sick. Okay. And what happened to me was it actually led to osteoporosis. So I was under stress because I was starving myself. I was eating less. I was exercising more, doing the wrong type of exercise, which we can get into. And I actually developed osteoporosis, and it was severe. But again, I turned it all around. My bones are super strong, and you can turn this around too. And I'm going to show you how. Okay, so we talked about cortisol quite in depth. And now we're going to talk about its counterpart, which is insulin. Okay, so insulin, you probably heard about. It is a hormone. It's released by the pancreas, and it is a storage hormone. Fat storage, but also nutrient storage. So insulin's not always the bad guy. We want to know how to know what insulin does and carve our diet and lifestyle and our mindset around keeping insulin balanced, okay? Because we need insulin. Actually, you need insulin. Otherwise, you would need to. That's why we need injections if you can't produce insulin. We need insulin. But if it's upregulated all day, that is a problem. That's why we're gaining weight. Okay. So we have insulin, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. What happens is if insulin is spiked throughout the day because you're eating, because you're stressed, all these things, you're not giving yourself rest. Then what happens is your cells become insulin resistant. You've probably heard of this before. The cells say, well, I am so tired of you trying to, store fat and nutrients, and I'm going to resist you because you keep doing that like all day. You're knocking on my door all day. And so you become insulin resistant. Okay. This is the first stage to type 2 diabetes. And then after that, it starts to fall off the rails if we don't take care of this. Okay. But again, we're talking about weight gain. Because anytime you have insulin raised throughout the day, you are not burning fat, okay? So let's talk about, well, maybe, do I have insulin resistance? Like, you may be wondering, like, I don't know. Well, we're going to find out right now. So the first sign and symptom of insulin resistant is I'm tired all day, right? And that you always need that lift. Increased hunger. I'm hungry all the time. I can't seem to satisfy my hunger, right? Weight gain. Absolutely. Again, anytime you raise insulin, you have stopped fat burning and you're gaining nutrition, but you're also, if it goes on too long, you're gaining weight. Difficult losing weight, high blood pressure, completely tied to insulin resistance. And if you look at your blood work, which I love to do, I love looking at blood work. So when you do look at your blood work and your HDL is low, your LDL is too high. Not only that, but your hemoglobin A1C is over 5, your triglyceride levels are too high, or your glucose and insulin are out of whack. So really, blood doesn't lie. So if you really want to know, it's a really good idea. I always recommend my clients, I send them a blood recommended sheet so they get the full panel, and we look at these markers every, at least once a year, at least, and then we track it. Okay, so that's how you know you have insulin resistance. But there are other factors. These are like soft tests, but if you really want to know, get your blood work done. And again, I love reading the blood work. It's really fun. So now we get into the third hormone. We talked about cortisol, we talked about insulin. Now we're going to talk about the hunger hormone. This one's not talked about enough. So it's called ghrelin. So ghrelin, I always think of ghrelin like, oh, I'm hungry, or my stomach's hungry. It's actually released by the stomach and it tells your body to eat. Well, so it increases your appetite, which is great. That's how you stopped yourself from starving. Your body goes, oh, I need nutrition, right? I need nutrients. I need food. That's what food does. It gives you energy so you can function throughout the day and, be alive and that kind of thing. But if it's dysregulated and you're feeling like you don't even know when you're hungry, when you're full, or you're hungry all the time, that is a problem, because how do you know when to refill the body? So that is going to lead to weight gain. And I've actually done a lot of talks, to great lengths on leptin. Leptin, I learned this from Dr. Jack Cruz when I studied it. So anybody over 20 pounds or more, or if you know of anyone who's 20 or more pounds overweight, they're likely leptin resistant. Just like insulin resistant, they are leptin resistant, which means that they're not even sure when they're hungry or full. The gas gauge is broken. Well, one of the first things we need to do is to fix leptin. And so we work with leptin, work with insulin, and we work with cortisol. And when we do, all the other hormones become balanced, okay? But we need to go deeper. We need to look at what's really going on. And so that's what I love to do, is go to the root cause and fix that so everything can work. So here we talked about cortisol, insulin, and ghrelin, okay? So now we've got 10 minutes. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into the really fun part. So the weight gain, how are we going to solve this problem? Okay, you can, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, we're going to reverse this. Most people think, like I did, I ran into problems, is, oh no, if I want to lose weight, all I have to do is eat less. And what I'm going to eat is I'm going to eat more salads, and I'm going to eat more vegetables, and I'm going to eat more fruit. I'm going to eat lots of plants, and I'm going to lose weight. Yeah. Or they'll go, I'm just going to go on a cleanse. The cleanse will help me reset and I can lose weight. Or I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to do some HIIT. I'm going to walk it off, run it off, burn it off. Okay, well, those are not working. They won't work. And I'll let you know why they don't work. Okay, this is a failed approach. It'll work in the short term, but it doesn't work for the long term. Okay, and the reason for that is because the weight gain is a deeper problem. The weight gain, we have to go deeper. What is it? It's a metabolism problem. It is a slow metabolism. All right. And so when you eat less, you're slowing your metabolism. When you go on a cleanse, you could really be messing your body up. And I'm going to share with you what that means. And also, if you exercise more than the body needs, you're actually going to lower metabolism, because you're raising cortisol and you're breaking down your metabolic engine, which is muscle. So yes, exercise is important. Yes, eating right, but we need to do it properly. Okay. We don't want to waste any more time. My goodness. So Here's how I help my clients lose weight and keep it off for life. I want to reframe how you even look at this whole picture. You're not broken. It's not your genes. It's not even your fault, because really there's so much misinformation out there. And I'm here to shed the light, okay? Crack the code to weight loss forever. Because again, I was suffering for so long. I never want anyone to do that. We're going to do it by getting healthy. So I want you to look at eating not to lose weight. I want you to look at eating to get healthy. Because if you're overweight, it's a metabolic, it's a health issue. Okay, so we need to get healthy to lose the weight. Healthy bodies are at a good weight. Okay, so we're gonna eat in a way that's going to build up the metabolism. We're gonna build it up. And we're also gonna go and exercise in a way not to burn fat. We're not doing that to like burn the calories. No, we're going into the gym or into your exercise plan because you're healthy. You want to get healthy. You love yourself. It's really about loving yourself enough to want to get healthy, to lose the weight and keep it off for life, because you're doing it in a healthy way, not in a I'm going to beat myself up way, which is so common. I mean, I did that for so long. Not blame, not shame, none of that. No, you're going there to get healthy. Okay, it's a different way of looking at it, but really it's so much freedom. Okay, so all the pressure's off. All the pressure's off. And so there are a number of steps to do that, because really you want to make sure that you're not, that you're covering all your bases. And today, what we're going to talk about is the three main pillars to getting healthy, building a good metabolism by eating properly, by doing the right detox, and by actually doing a good daily routine. Okay, that's your circadian rhythm. So I put into 9 steps, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share with you
it's unclear.
First pillar.
It's unclear where it will go.
So I'm not
Sorry,
sure.
Sue, could you go on mute? Sue?
Okay. So we've got about 6 minutes, and I'll be really careful of your time because I know that you are on a time thing. So the first pillar we're going to talk about is, my gosh, you are what you eat. Your tissues are made of the foods you eat. So we really want to make sure that we are getting healthy with the right foods for your body. Okay. And so we're going to talk about diet right now. Now, I'm going to share with you the 4 tips to help you with your diet. Again, your diet will be likely different than your neighbor's diet, than your friend's diet. You want to cut, there are some principles that we want to follow, but at the same time, know yourself. Get a diet that's actually customized to your body. And this is what I do for my clients, is I dive deep and go, okay, well, this is the exact eating plan that's designed for your blueprint to get you your results within this amount of time. So, but I'm going to give you some principles right now, even to get you started. Okay. So the first one is, let's talk about, when we're talking about your diet, let's talk about what are you going to eat? Well, the number 1 tip I can give you today that I clinically have seen, again, clinical, because I've been doing this 22 years. I've literally talked to tens of thousands of individuals, and I'm telling you the number 1 thing that I see that moves the dial the most, that's the biggest lever, is protein. We're forgetting about protein. We must, every time you eat, just think about, where is my protein source? And so whatever protein that is best for you, it's really about the amino acids. It's about the protein. What is that going to do? It's going to boost your metabolism, because it's going to build muscle. We want to build muscle. If you're over 50, you are losing, anyone over 40 is starting to lose muscle. This is why when you're in premenopause or menopause, it's so hard to lose the weight and keep it off. Yeah, because we need to focus on building muscle. Muscle is your metabolic engine. When you have more muscle in your body and you feed it properly, you will burn more calories at rest when you're sleeping. Okay, because remember, insulin isn't being raised. You're sleeping. There's no insulin. So that gives you a prime ability to lose weight. But the more muscle you have on the body, the quicker, faster, and long-term your fat loss for life. Okay, so that's the first piece, is protein. There are other, foods to consider. There's 4 steps that I provide for my clients. It's like a clear step, but I want you to think about protein. Now I want you to think about how to eat. Here's the other piece I see so often. We are busy people. We're professionals. We have a lot to do. We have kids. We're running around, all these things. We need to remember to chew our food. And so just think, remember, your stomach doesn't have teeth. So we want to chew our food until it's mush. This will help you lose weight because you're going to even know how much food to have, because it gives you enough time to go, oh yeah, I'm full. So remember to chew your food. When to eat. Here's the other piece. Yes, intermittent fasting is so important, of course, because that's the time that you're not raising insulin. Remember, insulin is down when you're not eating. And the easiest, fastest way to lose weight and keep it off for life is lose weight when you're sleeping. You're going to sleep it off. So this way, from dinner to breakfast, just think about not eating. That's a fasting window, but then eat in your feeding window. Okay, eat in your feeding window. So it's feed well, fast well. So think about eating just in that feeding window, and then intermittent fasting is really, it's critical. Okay, it's another lever. Why to eat? You are eating to nourish your body. You're not eating to lose weight. You are eating to nourish because you love yourself. You're loving yourself to get healthy. And when you're healthy, you lose the weight. All right, that's a side effect. Other things happen, so many other things. You're eating to nourish the body. You're eating to build muscle and give the body nutrients. That's why you're eating. Okay, so now let's get into, we've got a few more minutes here. The next pillar, which is detox. Is it important? Well, yeah, it is. Why? Because 350,000 chemicals now to date that we're exposed to every single day. These are hormone disrupting chemicals. They will disrupt your body's ability to burn fat because they're shutting down the hormone signaling. Remember, hormones are chemical messengers. They all talk to each other. If they're sitting in their own waste products, they can't communicate properly. Why? Because of the toxins. Okay, so yes, we do need to detox. What to detox? Well, you have 3 organs that we need to make sure that we are keeping healthy, so that you have your own detoxification system right inside your body. You have filters. The filter is liver, which filters out your fat soluble toxins. Kidneys filter out your acid toxins, which are the water soluble, and your respiratory system filters out the outside air. Those are your 3 organs, primary organs of elimination. You have secondary organs, that's fine, but really you want to make sure those 3 are working properly. So whatever detox you're on, make sure all 3 at the same time are being cleared. How to detox? Well, I always recommend that when you're on a detox, that you do a really good detox to start, and then just every season, fall and spring, do a tune-up. But when you first start, do a really good thorough detox. It's actually takes likely more time than a week. We can talk about that if anyone's interested, but really you should also feel good on a detox. The problem with detox is that you are re-intoxicating if you're not doing it properly and you feel like crap. So you should actually feel really, really good on a detox. When to detox, we talked about a good way to start, and then seasonally after that, 2 times a year, just quick little tune-up. Why to detox? Because this is going to filter out the toxins that is driving the hormone imbalance. Lastly, we're going to get into the daily routine. Why do we need a daily routine? Because this is your daily schedule. Otherwise, we fall off. We all really work well with daily schedules. Also, it supports circadian rhythm, which is where your body can have hormone balance. It's so much based on your circadian rhythm. Okay, and so you're going to want to make sure that you have a really good daily routine that you can follow, that is easy for you to do, that will help you balance your hormones. Okay, it's not just diet and lifestyle, it's also just your daily routine, what you do on a daily basis. So what to do? Well, make sure your morning routine includes some sunshine. And the reason for that is because you want to make sure that you have a really good sleep at night. And the way to have a good restful sleep so you can burn the fat that we're talking about is if you get morning sunlight, a good blast of morning sunlight. It doesn't have to be sunny. You just need to get outside first thing in the morning. That tells your body to balance cortisol and start to make melatonin so that you can release it at night. But if you don't get the morning outside time, then you're going to likely have a hard time going to sleep. And if you do, you're going to miss the window of fat burning when you're sleeping. So how do you do it? Well, make sure that you follow a really good morning routine, a really good evening routine, so you get that restful sleep. Remember, sleep is critical to your fat burning success. And then make sure that during the day, you've got the energy to do what you need to do, which is a high performance. Okay. So again, when you're eating, think of protein. That will give you the energy. When to do it? Every single day. Remember, you're practicing the art of being healthy. Daily routine is done daily. Why do you do it? Because first of all, it's going to balance cortisol because you feel safe. You have a routine. You know what to do next. You don't have mental fatigue. Okay. So, because it's all right there in front of you. So all my clients get a 1-page daily routine sheet, and they do their morning routine, their high performance during the day, and then they have an evening routine. Here's the thing. We do need to have an evening routine. You need to wind down from your busy day. Otherwise, you are missing the opportunity again to burn fat while you're sleeping. That's how easy it is. You burn fat when you sleep. So anyone here, if you have a question, I know I'm 2 minutes over. I'm sorry I kept you those extra minutes, but hopefully this has been interesting for you and it's got you thinking differently. This is the main thing, is I really want you to think about weight loss differently. It's not about burning calories. It's about getting healthy to lose the weight. Remember, extra weight is a health problem. All right. And so, yes, it is hormonal. Everything about it is hormonal. So if you get the hormones right, especially the 3 that I've just discussed, then you will be able to burn fat when you sleep. It's so easy. So if you have a question, I'm happy to answer them now. And also, if you want to dive deeper, I'm happy to offer a deeper dive, free consult with me. I talked to Genevieve, just for your people, Genevieve, I will offer a free deeper dive. So I can just find out more about you and to maybe fine tune a few more things about what you're doing so that you can have a quick start and stop spinning wheels. So hopefully that was okay. If you have any questions, I'm happy to look at them in the chat or whatever. Genevieve, it's all yours now.
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks everyone for chiming in. Does anyone have any questions at this point? That was jam-packed, full of info.
I just have one question. How do you like I did intermittent fasting for a little while, but I was so hungry. How do you deal with that hunger bit? Like, is it just increasing protein during the day or like?
Okay, how are you doing? Thank you for asking. That's a good question. Yeah, that's good.
Probably like 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 was like my eating window.
Okay, so that means you're fasting for how long then?
Like 14 to 16 hours.
Okay, so basically what I hear from you is there's no calories at all, because anytime you instill a calorie, you stop fasting.
That's right. There's no calories, yeah, during that fasting window.
Okay, and so from dinner to breakfast, you're fasting for 14 to 15 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're fasting then, so tell me about this question again. You said something about hunger.
Yeah. Oh, so I was just really hungry during that window. Even like after a few weeks, I thought my body would adjust, but I would still have like times where I was like super hungry, especially like in the mornings or like later on at night.
So hang on, so you were hungry during your fasting window?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was trying to understand. Okay. Well, it could be a sign of, it is a blood sugar imbalance. Okay, so your body should be able to flip the gears from sugar burning to fat burning. If you can, that's the key to losing weight and keeping it off for life, is you need to train the body to be a fat burner. Otherwise, you're always just, so it's actually a good sign that to go, oh, wow, I have a hard time fasting just 14 hours. Wow, that's a sign of insulin resistance or blood sugar imbalance, because the body should be able to go, 14, it shouldn't have that bonk. Okay, so that's actually a good thing. It's like, oh, wow, okay, well, I may have some insulin issues. All right. So we would know that by the signs that I've presented to you, plus your blood work. So if your hemoglobin A1C is over 5, we know that the past 3 months you've had a blood sugar issue, right? If your glucose or your insulin are off as well, and also you're highly sensitive CRP, you want that under 1. So I love blood work, but also we could do soft tests. Like if you were to schedule a call with me, I have this really easy sign and symptoms sheet that we could look at and go, oh, wow, you score like really high, or, oh, wow, you're just borderline. Oh, let's do this. And so ways for you to just always remember, so I've just laid a whole bunch of stuff on you, but it's good that you asked. It is a sign of that's what your body's telling you. So your body's talking to you, right? I'm like the body whispers. I'm your body talking to you saying, hey, let's look at your blood sugar balance. And so make sure every time you eat, Ivana, 30 to 50 grams of protein, 30 to 50 grams of protein every meal you have. 30 to 50 grams. That is the key. So try that. And if you want to dive deeper, please book a call.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. That was a good question.
Awesome. I do encourage everyone, even if you have questions unrelated to this topic, feel free to ask or book a call with Michelle. I always get like next steps and takeaways whenever I chat with her. So it's a super generous offer. Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome. Well, here's my email. And if you want to reach out, Genevieve has my email, and that's the best way actually to reach me is by email.
Alicia, did you have something? I just noticed you came off mute.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm using my earbuds. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was just going to ask sort of a follow-up question to Ivana's, because Ivana and I went through all of this together. And I noticed that I had to kind of drop the length of my fast when I started going back to biking to work. I am starving all the time.
Yeah. So again, for healthy people are able to fast without bonking. So it's a sign, because our ancestors had this mechanism because there were times that there was feast and famine. And so if anyone here is overweight and they want to lose the weight, we need to be a fat burner. So fat burners are able to spread their meals apart 4 or 5 hours. They also should be able to do the intermittent fasting. 14, if you're in menopause, it's actually 16 hours. But if you're cycling, menstrual cycle, it's 14 hours, because you want to keep the thyroid happy and you don't want to downregulate that. So again, this is a sign going, oh, wonder what my blood sugar's like. Maybe I'm not handling that very well. If you are just doing chronic cardio, again, this is what I see all the time. You crave more sugar. And this only leads to weight gain, because we actually need to be fat burners. Anytime you crave sugar, that tells me that that we need to move you into fat burning. You will gain weight by craving sugar, because sugar is going to put the weight on and it's going to raise insulin. Anytime you raise insulin, you stop fat burning. So I love all these questions, because it's like, oh, wow, I should be able to go 14, 16 hours. How come I can't? Yeah, because we need to train the body. We need to train the body to be a fat burner. Your fat on your body is actually energy packs. They're stored energy. They are there just in case you can't eat, but you need to be able to tap into them. So you have to train the body to go, I need to use my body fat as fuel instead of always food all the time. And if you can't do that, that is your first thing you need to do, is balance your blood sugar. 2 things happen after the age of 40. Blood sugar dysregulation and inflammation. They both go up. And we know this from all the studies. So knowing this as you age, everybody that ages is going to have blood sugar dysregulation, right? And higher inflammation. So your diet, your lifestyle, and the detox all need to cover all those bases so that you can balance blood sugar, so that you can mitigate inflammation, and so that you can lose weight and keep it off for life and age gracefully. Hopefully that answered that. So
yeah, I think it's more like being hungry during the feeding time. Like I can fast for 14 hours, no problem. But it's like with and like biking is part of my lifestyle. So like I can't really give that up. But and like Jen and I have talked about this too. Like I've increased my protein intake like astronomically, and then I gained 10 pounds. And probably muscle, like I have started lifting and stuff like that too, but I just have noticed, like, I think it is the cardio making me hungry all the time. I just don't really know what to do to counteract that.
Yeah. Okay. So when I hear I've increased my protein, oftentimes it's not enough. And I'm just going to share with you right now, just some hard and fast rules. It's 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. You want to have that within your feeding window. The other piece is we need to digest our protein. And whenever I see my clients, again, I'm clinical, I look to see what's going on. They're not digesting it. And so here they're eating it. You can eat it, but are you breaking it down? And so again, I have these tests to go, oh, actually you have low stomach acid. So if you have low stomach acid, you aren't breaking down your protein that you think you are, and you're not absorbing the minerals from your vegetables. Because when you have low stomach acid, you're not ionizing the minerals from the green vegetables, and you have acid pain. And this is what's going to lead to kidney issues too. So all these things, we want to make sure, oh, good, you're eating your protein. Wonderful. Are you digesting your protein? No, I have low stomach acid. Okay, well, let's look at that so that let's get the stomach acid at a good level. And everyone that comes to me, Alicia, I'd say 99% have low stomach acid because of the stress and because of the poor eating habits and all these kind of things. And so they're not digesting their protein. And so if you're not, the body goes, I need more food. I need more food. Literally, if you're eating, if your body's saying, I need to eat during the day and I can't satisfy, that means I'm not getting my nutrition. Please give me more food, literally. And it goes, and what it needs the most is the amino acids. But again, you need to break it down. You need the stomach acid to do that. And so again, I have a test on that too, because all these things I do an assessment and it's game changing. So you know exactly what's going on. And then when you can put the stomach acid in, you eat the protein and you feel satisfied. I have energy throughout the day. Wow, I'm building muscle now because I'm breaking down my protein and getting the amino acids to repair the muscle that I'm breaking down. I'm getting stronger in the gym, all these, and I have no pain because I have minerals in my body. We don't need more vitamins. We usually need more minerals, just so you know. Yeah, I can go on, but hopefully that's helped you. Those are.
I didn't even know that like low stomach acid was a thing until I realized I had super low stomach acid, and it's actually a normal thing. Well, not normal, but it happens as we age significantly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, we have half the stomach acid as we did at 40 than we did at 18. So we know this is going to happen when we age. So what do? I always take a digestive enzyme. Like I know that about myself. And so I will do that before I eat every single time. It's in my kitchen. So I have all these hacks, but you know, there's supplementing a good diet. They're not supplementing a bad diet. So we do these things because we're getting older, but we need to know what to do because you could be doing things that are counterproductive as well, which also I see. But you're trying. I mean, I understand, but really it's a science. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I like that.
Thank you.
So great questions. Yeah, I mean, there's never a silly question. I ask a lot when I'm on these calls because I want to know. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, if there's no further questions, I'd love to book some more of these. What did I call them? A wellness. What did I call it today? A virtual wellness event. So if anyone has any topics that they'd like to dive in a bit deeper or you have questions about, then we can definitely organize that for a future session.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to join you guys again. Yeah, so thanks for joining and hopefully that's been informative for you and I'd be happy to answer more questions and do another talk, whatever you guys want. Thanks,
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Michelle.
Hey, you're welcome. And I'll send you the replay, Genevieve.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks so much.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Hen.